What's up, YouTube? This is a full pull day I'm running right now to build a big back and a big weighted pull up for this summer. This workout, I'm really focusing on bringing up my side delts, biceps, and mid back by using some heavy rows, lots of lateral raises, and some heavy bicep curls. I hope you all enjoy this, and let's get into the voiceover. Starting off this pull day with some weighted pull ups here. This is my absolute favorite movement for the back. I love pushing these heavy. In essence, these kind of are my bench press for my back. I try to keep my weights on these with weight plus body weight about equal to my bench press for the same rep range. Pushing these in a 5 to 7 rep range and really focusing on strength, I think has really led to some good back development for me over time. After that, I move into a wide grip row to hit the back from a horizontal angle. I really like this version of a row because it allows me to focus more on driving my elbows back and really retracting my shoulder blades at the top to focus on building up the mid trap, which will allow me to build up more back thickness. And I also like to superset these at the very end with some Kelso shrugs to really isolate those mid traps, just going to burn out with the same weight I used. After that, I like to move on to biceps on my pull days to try to put them earlier in the workout to focus more on them before they're super fatigued by other movements. I really, really love an incline curl here to train the long head, and I take a hammer grip as well to really target the forearms along with this. Absolutely great. This version is also good if you suffer from elbow pain with supinated grip on these. A lot of people find this is a little bit more comfortable on their elbows. After that, I like to superset my incline curls with a lateral raise variation. Here I'm doing lateral raises on that same incline bench in kind of a Y formation here. It's really important to hit your lateral delts with not only a lot of volume throughout a week, but a lot of different angles. There's about 7 heads of your delts, so hitting them from even slightly different angles throughout the week is really going to lead to the most growth possible. And then after I finish up lateral raises, I then go over to a cable stack here to do another superset. I start here with cable lateral raises. Set the cables at about hip height here, so the tension is greatest at the bottom, which is the most hypertrophic part of the lift. Movement feels absolutely great. Feels great on your shoulders too, because you have a lot more freedom of motion, and you don't have to worry about holding the dumbbells. In addition to the resistance profile being better, if you have access to a cable stack, these are also great just for providing some variety to your workouts. After doing standing lateral raises for a while, they can get a little bit boring. So this just allows you to scratch that itch a little bit. Then after doing those in a higher rep range, I like to superset this with a Bayesian cable curl. So with the Bayesian cable curl, I like to take a step forward here and really focusing on a good squeeze and a good stretch. I don't worry so much about my arm path on these because as long as my elbows are back at the start, it's going to train the long head. And if they travel forward a little bit, it's not going to matter in the long run as long as you're pushing these hard. This movement is absolutely great. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend if you have access to dual cables and can get them regularly because at busy gyms, that can be quite an issue. Absolutely great on the biceps. Feels great. Easy to progress over time. Money, money movement here. Then to finish off the workout, I like to go with a lat pullover variation. With my first 2 movements of the day, I focus more on back thickness. So for my last movement, I really like to hone in on the lats and perform this lat pullover to focus on back width, as is something I'm trying to bring up this summer. I do these in a higher rep range, really focusing on getting a big stretch at the top and a big squeeze at the bottom. Nothing better than finishing off your workout with a big lat pump. And this machine does that absolutely great, as it also has a seatbelt to lock you in and really allows you to drive to absolute failure on these reps. All right, so gonna continue doing these talks in my videos. Been really enjoying this lately, but this talk I really want to talk about the idea of celebrating yourself, especially how that relates to the gym and then life in general, and kind of what I've learned throughout my struggle with celebrating myself and just being grateful with where I'm at and comfortable with where I'm going. This really came to me because I think like a lot of people, you go to the gym, you track your weights, and you try to progress them week to week. That's how you build muscle. That's how you make gains. But I feel like with that, there also comes this point where, the progression slows down the longer you're in the gym and you're still chasing just as high of numbers. But as you PR and as those PRs become less and less frequent, I feel like for myself, it's always just chasing the next number in the gym. And I don't really take the time to appreciate like what I've done if I PR, whether that's just a rep PR on a incline chest press or whatever it is. Like taking the time to really realize and be grateful, be like, oh, I progressed today. I did what I intended to do and I got stronger. Instead of just being like, okay, I got this, I want to get this next week. I think is really important for just general contentment and joy in the gym, especially if you're in it for the long haul. If you are never able to take the time to be grateful and to just celebrate yourself and be happy with how far you've come in the gym, then it's not going to encourage you to keep on progressing and keep on going in the gym. I think that is really a bigger idea too, just with personally with myself. This is something I've struggled with just with general life as well. I tend to take on a lot of challenges in my life, whether it's been different fitness pursuits like wrestling in high school, running cross country track, academically getting into a school, going to a school, transferring to another school, or whatever it may be. After those accomplishments, I feel happy for a little bit with them, but very soon after, it kind of transfers to, okay, what's the next goal? Moving that goalpost to, oh, I got into college. Congratulations, all right. What GPA can I get now? Oh, I want to transfer colleges, go to a better school or a school that's more aligned with my interests. Oh, I got into that school. Now, what can I do in that school? How can I progress there? And it's this endless loop of just self comparison and not being comfortable or grateful with what you've done and what you've accomplished. And after a while, that can really drain you. So for myself, one thing I've been trying to doing has just been taking moments throughout the day to just be like, oh, I'm grateful this happened, even if it's something so normal as like, oh, I got an A in this class, whatever, and maybe it's not that hard of a class, but just taking a moment to be like, I worked hard for this, and I'm grateful for that. And that doesn't mean that you can't progress later on, but it just allows you to have a healthier mental state and a healthier mindset going forward without having this constant pressure of thinking, oh, I completed this. What's the next thing? What's the next challenge? Because this isn't enough. I'm not enough. So that's been something I've really been thinking about lately with that. And it really comes down to this kind of endless game of tug war you play with yourself of being grateful of where you're at and confident in where you're going and not being so insecure about your accomplishments and your achievements that you feel like you need to take on something new and you can't celebrate what you did because it's not good enough to for some arbitrary standard that you set for yourself. So that's been something that I've struggled with. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to take moments throughout the day, particularly in the morning. I think if you can spend time by yourself or say go for a run without earbuds, just taking a moment to be like, here are 5 things I'm grateful for. Yesterday, maybe think of some things you're grateful for that week, that month, that year. And especially at like big ends, say end of the school year, end of summer, end of a big challenge, like if you ran a half marathon, whatever, just taking a moment and more than a day, more than that, the rest of that day to just think about it and be like, this is what I sacrificed, this is what I did, and I'm happy about what I did. Then you can go on and think about how you can adjust for the future and what else you want to do. But just trying to maintain that gratitude and celebration of yourself because that is so important for sustainability and just general contentment going forward in life. So that's my rant. I'm sure I have more to talk about this in the future. It's something, like I said, that I struggle with a lot, that I think about a lot. But I hope that helps anybody who listens to this. I really appreciate all of y'all watching. If you like this type of content, please subscribe, comment, like the video, all that. I also recently just got certified as a NASM certified personal trainer. I'll be working in the Chapel Hill Campus Recreation Center. If you go to Chapel Hill, feel free to request a session to work with me. I'd love that. I'm also about to start online coaching. I'll have an email in the description, either this video or next video. If you want to contact me that way for training. Appreciate all of y'all. Peace and love.